Are you serious? Are you serious? Folks, get a cup of coffee. Everybody calm down, but this is a prophecy alert. A prophecy alert. Riots on the Temple Mount this morning. Palestinians are throwing explosive devices at police on the Temple Mount. And I would really like to know how in the world they got explosives on the Temple Mount. Because I can tell you, if you're a tourist and you're going up there, or if you're, even if you're the Israeli citizens, if you're Jewish, you're going through extensive metal detectors and screening to get up on top of the Temple Mount. Okay, so where in the world, who brought these up here? Well, the Jerusalem police have closed all entrances to the Temple Mount this morning after Palestinians reportedly threw, petroleum cocktail bombs at the police outpost up on the Temple Mount compound. Now, dozens of policemen entered the compound after that incident. The policemen ordered all worshipers to leave the compound. Eyewitnesses said scuffles broke out between the police and scores of Palestinians. The incident took place a day after the Interior Public Security Minister Gilead Erdan vowed that there will be no second mosque on the Temple Mount, and said that, God willing, Jews will be able to pray there freely in the future. And you have to understand, there's already a mosque on the Temple Mount. The Al-Aqsa Mosque. About 8,000 men can go in and pray. And then there's the Dome of the Rock, the iconic Dome of the Rock up there, where women go in and pray. Okay? So there's really two places there. You can't go and open a third when Jews are not even allowed to go up there and open their mouth. If they're seen moving their lips, they can be escorted off of the Temple Mount. So there's no way you can build another mosque until the Jews at least build a temple. I mean, this is really the reality. And I told you this was coming, guys. I said, look out. I actually thought the protesting was going to turn ugly by this Friday. I didn't expect it to happen on Tuesday. And I said this last night. Now, the incident took place, as we said, the office of the Palestinian Authority, President Mahmoud Abbas, has condemned the events and warned of escalation as a result of these clashes. But I'm still trying to figure out who he's condemning. And Abbas's office further said he's engaged in intensive discussions with the Jordanians and other parties to prevent further escalation. See, Abbas knows that this Middle East peace deal is coming down the pipe, and he wants to make sure that they don't lose their negotiating position with Jared Kushner and the other nations that are going to be involved in really who's going to bring the cash to this peace agreement. Is this the covenant with many that's getting ready to happen? And some of the radicals that are up there are sensing that a deal is coming, which would probably allow the Palestinians to become their own state, or will allow the Palestinians to operate more freely within the nation of Israel, a one-state solution that allows the Palestinians, though, to have more legal position, but would also include that the Jews could build the third temple. Now, if it's a two-state solution, but it may be a one-state solution, but here's why a one-state solution could work. You keep it as a one state of Israel. That way you don't part the land. And yet you get the Saudi Arabians, you get the United Arab Emirates, you get the Kuwait, Bahrain, some of these other Oman, and some of these other Muslim monarchies to pour in Egypt, Jordan, and of course the United States, tons of cash. The British Empire, tons of cash. The Vatican, tons of cash. Everybody pours a lot of money into this, and you start rebuilding the infrastructures in the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank. And a lot of money, and that gives the Palestinian people a much better livelihood. Okay, by investing also in a rail system. where the Palestinians that live in the Gaza Strip can leave and actually go to the West Bank by train. All right, yet not breaching the security for the Israelis that live in the rest of the country. But in turn, to give all that to the Palestinian people to better their lives, you allow the Jews then to build the third temple on the Temple Mount. Now, the problem with all of that is there's going to be a few radicals that are going to resist it heavily on both sides. The Jews would be much more happier with a one-state solution with a lot of money being poured into the Palestinians if there can be peace and if they can pray on the Temple Mount, if they can build that third temple. The Muslims, though, may still have radicals who will resist, saying, look, we want to part the land and we don't want the Jews praying up there. Okay, so you're going to have radicals really on both sides that's going to try to resist it. So what Abbas is doing, he's trying to figure out a way to calm the nerves of those that are a little bit more radical, and by promise them big payday is coming if you'll go along with the plan. So folks, this is what's going on. I'm telling you. And this is why Trump wants it to be a one-state solution. You heard Benjamin Netanyahu. He wants it to be a one-state solution. And that's why he was standing last night up on, yesterday afternoon, he was standing on the Golan Heights with Senator Lindsey Graham and from the United States and U.S. Ambassador to Israel, David Freeman. And they were standing up there where I've stood many times in the Golan Heights overlooking the border into Syria. And Netanyahu wants Trump to say that the Golan Heights is no longer occupied territory, but to officially declare it is now the land of Israel. And that would fulfill Bible prophecy that everywhere Abraham, the sole of his foot landed, would become part of the promised land of the nation of Israel. It would be fulfilling biblical prophecy. Okay, so this is all happening so quickly now. You got to stay on top of this. I am going to read, but if Jerusalem, if you trust me when I tell you this, Jerusalem is going to become this cup of trembling, this burdensome stone for all people. And so here is the prophecy, and so let's make sure we read these 2 or 3 verses. In Zechariah 12, it says, the burden of the word of the Lord for Israel, saith the Lord, which stretches forth the heavens, and laid the foundation of the earth, and formeth the spirit of man within him. The creator of all things says these words, behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. All right? So this is the deal. The cup of trembling. The prophecy is taking place. Zechariah 12. And we're watching that prophecy plus many more coming to pass right before our very eyes. Now, we're going to be talking about this today in our live broadcast. Got a ton of stuff. Venezuela, though, I'm telling you, it's so sad there. We're going to talk about all of this in our live broadcast. Starts at 12 noon Eastern today. Don't miss this program. It will be very powerful. Are you serious?